I promise you, this will be the ultra, big, fat, juicy, dripping, honey, steak, beginner guide you will ever see on Age of Empires Mobile. I will try my best to cover everything, even if you are a noob and about to lose your girlfriend.
Who do you think you are, bringing his kind into my house?
But Dad, he's a nice guy, really.
No, he's a noob, Jessica, a noob!
Don't worry, my friend, I got your back. Before I go on, I have to let you know that the game is going to be online on 17th of October globally, but very tiny amount of countries might get it in 31 of October. But regardless, you can still use a VPN if your country are not on the global launch list of countries. So I will give you 2 advices that might blow your mind. The first advice is, don't play the game on the 17th of October. As for the second advice, play the game on the 17th of October.
Huh?
Before you decide to shoot me with a gun, please allow me to explain. So let's say you decided to play the game on 17th of October. At the current time of me making this video, the game has already reached 5 million pre-registrations. And there are shitload of marketing and groups which is preparing for the game. Too many people will flood the servers, too many whales will join those early servers, too many groups are joining in, which means if you are a solo player who has no group or going in solo mode during the early launch is like going to the jail alone, like our friend here, Stan.
No? Wouldn't happen to be Latino, would you? Looks like everybody's gonna rape you.
Now, once you join the server, any server in general, at the starting of the game, you will be thrown into a random region. So, what is a random region? So you see, the map on Age of Empires looks like this. When you join Age of Empires for the first time, you will be thrown into one of the regions above. And it's really first come, first served. The game tries to balance out regions by sending each account into a different region. Which means if you join early, it's unlikely you will be on the same region with your friends. However, there are 2 ways to fix this. The first one is by waiting until your server reaches a milestone that allows you to change region and alliance. The second way, I believe developers have said that everyone will be getting an UBT report that allows you to change region early on so you can join the friends that you want to play with. These servers are going to be the most active servers ever, and the most dramatic servers too. I mean, it's going to be Game of Thrones.
Things we do for love.
But honestly, good luck getting anything on the event that requires you any kind of consumption to the resources. So if resources or top ranks or getting a good rank in general is not very important to you, then it's all good. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, there is a chance a player with the name Nefistu shows up. That guy is like a rare Pokemon. He's going to bang you until you call him daddy. In real, he is ultra, mega, super, ice cream, falafel, kraken, golden steak whale. That guy used to have a massive wars alone on many games. I mean, go look at his name on YouTube. That guy is super badass. He was in Land of Empires, Rise of Kingdoms, Call of Dragons, and many other games. I used to watch him from far only because I have 5 children to feed and I don't want any problems. And if you ever came across this video, please, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean anything. Please spare my life. This video's intention is only for fun, and I don't want any problems with your majesty. So now, if you decided to play in 17th of October, please go ahead and join the project, as it's going to be very hard to play this game alone, especially if you are a low spender or a free player, because there are a lot of groups that have prepared major projects or alliances. So unless you are a spender, it's going to be hard to fit in early, because all of these early servers will be full and the slots will be limited on the alliances too. I know a few projects and they are all great people with decent leadership. You have the Empire project, for example, very cool players run by Mr. Greedy. It's almost 1100 players and it's seriously massive. I believe it's the biggest so far. And there is the Striskel Gaming too. It's another project run by the one and only EQ. They are another great guys. Age of Empire group run by Calamity, another decent people who plans to start a little bit later after the rest to avoid the massive flooded servers. So all of these are choices for you to pick from. Now, the first question that would come into your mind, which civilization I actually need to start with? Keep in mind, these are not the only civilizations on the game. There will be more and I will discuss them later on, but the best one to start with is the Chinese. You can later on change if you don't have the card, and it costs literally little silver. I think it's around 200, but let's go through this and explain to you why, and I'm going to give you an example here. So right now, villagers play a huge role in Age of Empires. Currently you can see my capacity is 59 in here as it's mentioned. Now what's the point of villagers? Villagers can be assigned to some buildings to improve them. For example, here I have assigned a couple of villagers. Those villagers are going to improve the food I am getting from the mill. I can assign them to any other production I have, and they will increase the amount of production I'm getting per hour. Now we have explained just the basics of the villager uses. Now let's go into more advanced uses. If you click at villagers management, you will see something called code of the villagers, which can be accessed from the villagers management. What's the point of that? These are temporary buffs or a limited buffs that you will have access to if you have met the conditions. The conditions here, either a leveling of a specific building and an unlocked amount of villagers that you own. Let's again explain what does this even mean. For example, here you have an item called trading team. This conditions that you need to have is 40 villagers and the market reaches level 8. What is the point of that? It's simple. You go into the market, it will allow you to get an extra exchange rate every single day when you assign villagers into it. So as you can see, up to 24% exchange limit, which is really going to be very helpful early on. Later on in the game at the late gate mode, it won't be as useful as right now, but early on everything matters, especially if you are a low spender or free to play. Not only that, there are specific powerful buffs that only unlocked if you have met certain conditions, which requires you to have the more villagers, and if your resources is limited, especially early on, then changing into Chinese would allow you to get them way much faster. For example, you have the medical assistance, which requires you to have 115 villagers, or you can increase the capacity of the troops building. Say you are training troops and you don't want to log in every freaking 1 hour or 2 hours. You want some extra capacity to help you train more troops more at once. So this is one of the things that will give you a specific buff into the capacity limits of that military building. Now let me show you one of the advantages of switching into Chinese for this specific condition. See, I have a warehouse keeper and the buff requires me to have a 65 villagers and the warehouse to reach level 14. I'm at level 15 I believe, but I don't have enough villagers, so I am going to switch just to show you what will happen once I switch and once I get more capacity. Here now I'm going to switch into Chinese and click confirm. Now as you can see, I am already Chinese. Now it will allow me to build even more villagers. I can get extra. Look at my limit now. My limit is 67, which is used to be 59. Now let's go again. Check the code. We will see the warehouse keeper code is available for us and we can click publish. Now we will have that buff. This buff is useful early on to protect your resources from getting Plunder. You are still would need protection if your HQ reached a level that is higher than 10, because reaching a level that is higher than 10 means people can actually plunder your resources and you have a limited amount of protection. But with this code being unlocked early on, you will be allowed to assign some villagers into your warehouse, which is going to protect more resources. For example, right now I can protect 600k of the resources. If I assign some of the villagers here, I can get up to 60% more protected resources, which is really very nice early on. And here you can check the protection of the resources. It used to be 600k. Now with the additional resources protection I have, at low level I have more than 1.2 million resources that is protected. And believe me, early on when it's chaos, when there is no much guides out there, nobody would know about this trick. Amid spender, it doesn't matter who you are. The merchant, which comes from the market, is one of the most important buildings in the whole game. Why? Because it will allow you to buy rare items that is very hard to be obtained somewhere else. So click at the market, go to the store, you will see that the merchant itself gets triggered if you do one of those things and it lasts for 2 hours. If you read here, it says the boarding merchant has left. She's traveling across the kingdoms for business. Will be back as soon as you build, upgrade buildings and train or promote units. So basically, if you decided to upgrade anything, it will literally show up after some certain cooldown. So let's test it, for example, and try to train some troops. Once you train some troops, you can go back again and you will see that the market is out and online. So why this market is freaking important? Because it sells you resources, speed ups and currencies, and all of these are actually very useful when it comes to early game. So what you need to buy here is all of the resources at reduced price, with the exception of resources that cost silver. Your silver here is so freaking precious, so please don't buy anything with silver unless it is really super rare. Otherwise, I advise you to only go for resources and anything that costs basically resources. Avoid anything that costs silver unless it's a massive discount or a very rare item that you actually want to get. So here, for example, I could buy resources because it is really recommended to buy, and it will take some of my resources here in the top and replace it with a chest which contain those resources, and it's way much better than having the resources in here on the top, because the more you have resource, the more chance you will be blundered, because obviously as soon as you reach HQ10, player will try to blunder you. You can refresh this one only one time if you are a free player or low spender, and you can refresh it 2 or 3 times if you're a spender who doesn't like care much about these. But all of these items are required in order for you to ascend gears and upgrade gears. So basically, as long as you are spending resources, it is all good. You don't have to buy the recruit items which cost silver, but anything that has resources on it is free for you to buy. I would recommend you to buy all of these items that is costing you resources only. One more thing I wanted to explain to you is some resources has shield on them and some resources does not have a shield on them. This means if you used a resources with a shield, it means the amount of resources that you use through the shield is protected. But any other resources that has no shield mark is not going to be protected. And let me show you and explain to you how. Like here, let's open up the bag and let's go to the resources. For example, you will see I have some resources which has no green shield and some resources which has green shield. This means these resources are safe and cannot be plundered, but the other resources is not safe and can be plundered. So if you're trying to use something, I recommend you to use the unsafe resources first before you attempt to use your protected resources. So in 2 minutes, as you can see, the merchant is going to leave. So my question is, can we trigger the merchant again as soon as the merchant leaves? So I'm going to wait the 2 minutes, and after the 2 minutes, I'm going to go back and train troops or upgrade the building, and I'm going to see. So I went ahead and tried and did train some troops. It didn't respawn, but I went back again and upgraded a building, which again triggered the merchant to come back again, which means this way you can maybe spawn her a lot of times per day, which is very helpful because she is going to sell you some nice items. She's going to sell you shields. She might sell you some recruitment cards, which costs resources. By the way, again, don't buy these unless they cost resources. So this is a very nice trick you can use, and it actually rewards the people who are active. Are things that I would recommend you to push early on. The reason for that is the earlier you have them, the better on the long run. The first thing that I would recommend you to push is villagers code. By clicking at your villagers management in here, go to the codes of the villagers and unlock those 3 cards. They are the most important cards: the temporary rest, the medical security, and the task mobilization. The task mobilization is by using as soon as possible 720 minutes only of build up. This is little like 12 hours. This will enable you to have the task mobilization, which is going to reduce all queue times by 2 hours for every single building you own and can be used every 3 days once. There is another card which is really super important. It's actually going to affect your growth a lot. This is why you need to get it as soon as possible. It's called the temporary rest. It allows you to get stamina, and stamina is used for you to kill tribes. Tribes is basically drops skill XP, drops items, drop stuff, and helps you while you are participating on the events later on. You go here, check in your profile, you will see that you have 100 stamina, and the only way is for you to get stamina either by bundles or VIP shop or using the 50 stamina daily supply once. However, if you killed 100 tribes, you will unlock something called the villager code. This villager code is called temporary rest. You click publish. You are required to have 3 free villagers. If you don't have 3 villagers free, then you can't use this card. Once you click click at publish, then you will unlock this temporary reset. Once you unlock it, you can go back to your limited time assignments, click at assign. Keep in mind you have to have 3 villagers free. If you don't have 3 villagers free, this is not going to work. And then click at assign. It will give you 50 stamina here. Take a look at here, go back, and then you will see that your stamina is now more. This can be used 1 time every 2 days. This is a very important building that you should rush early on. The first one is embassy, and I do recommend you to upgrade the embassy until level 13 or until level 11 to get 6 or 5 extra chances. That is going to help you on the early reduction of the time needed for your researches and buildings. And then go to your university, and the first upgrade you need to upgrade is all unit troop type speed. This is a super useful upgrade early on. Really doesn't take much. It takes minutes. It literally takes minutes, maybe maximum of 10 minutes until you reach the maximum level of the training troop speed. Then switch into the economy and get the research speed first. This is first, then you will go to the building speed and max it out second. But first you have to go into the research speed and finish it up first. And while you are upgrading, don't forget that you can still first wait for the assistance from your alliances first. Once the assistance are over, you can use the remaining speed ups in here. Once you are done with your research upgrades, then go back to the building speed and upgrade it too. There are further upgrades too for research, but they are only unlocked at HQ 17, which is little bit a while unless you're actually spender early days. It is not really hard, but it would require you a lot of early investment and a lot of activities early on. But if you are not a spender and you are free to play, this is gonna take you a couple of days until you reach this point. And once you reach it again, start with the research speed first, then head to the building speed. Because keep in mind, it requires your university and town hall to be level 17, and 17 is really critical level. So when it comes to being efficient, when it comes to your university, you need to know that not every single upgrade you actually have to take. For example, to unlock tier 2, you only need 1 node when it comes to the previous nodes. Like here, for example, the swordsman attack 1 is all what you need in order for you to unlock the tier 2. So having all of them unlocked is not really a bad idea, but when you go further than that, it starts being more costly and it will start costing you and giving you more requirements. However, when you start reaching at the tier 4 onwards, here you will see something different, that every single upgrade, basically if you want to unlock higher tiers, it's going to cost you more resources and more requirements. Then here you will stop and tell yourself the following: which one of these I am actually supposed to upgrade? Because early on resources is not going to be really that easy, especially if you're trying to upgrade your Traven. So here is what you need to do. This upgrade path is going to be based off your heroes. What does this mean? This means here when you go into your Traven, you will be able to recruit heroes. Not every single player is going to be lucky. Some players will have better heroes, some won't have as much luck as the rest. So it is all depends on the heroes you are having. If you find yourself lucky, for example, with the swordsman heroes, then you can go ahead and upgrade your swordman first. The same goes for the pikeman. If your pikeman heroes are way much better than your swordsman or your horses, then you will go again and unlock that tier first. Why? Because it's going to carry you on early. Finally, one of the things that you should rush as soon as possible is the island tactics. When you progress in island tactics, it gives you a currency region. This currency regions will keep stacking up to 12 hours, and every single time you finish an island, it will add an additional rewards that capped at 12 hours. So basically, the further you progress, the bigger the playtime reward is going to be, which is going to allow you to stack the currency, and then you can buy rewards from the store, which is all really necessary. I would advise you to avoid XP because it's really freaking easy to get. Maybe get some skill point, maybe you can get some rare crystals early on, just early on, but other than that, I would really advise that you would save your coins for the more and better rewards that you will unlock in the future. Okay guys, I wanted to simplify things for you, so you are going to get some items early on, and these items might be very confusing for you. You don't actually know which one of these items might be good for you or might be bad for you. This is why I made this picture and I put exactly which one of these items are going to be really be careful when you are spending it. First of all, your empire coins are going to be extremely fucking important, so please don't just waste them around. And universal legendary hero medals, the one which is used in upgrading your heroes, do not fucking touch it unless you are sure of the hero that you are going to use. And once I make a video about the heroes, I'm going to tell you where exactly you need to use those. And trust me, you are not really going to get a massive boost if you use them. Well, it doesn't really work in that way. And now this item is not hard to get, but you can be wise when you use this item, so I can be careful when you use it. Same goes for the skills point early on. You need to be wise when you use these items. However, this fucking legendary skill scroll is going to be very fucking hard to get, so please be fucking careful when it comes to this son of a bitch cards and the universal hero medals. They are really going to be shittiest and fucking hardest items to get. And your empire coins, especially if you are free player or smithers, is not going to be easy, but it is farmable, and it is mainly going to be used in earning you heroes and hero fragments. That's one of their main use. I don't want to go into complicated things from the start, so I will start with some basic stuff to explain to you about the troops counters, and exactly what you are supposed to be looking for when it comes to the stats or the stuff that is going to come to you in the future. Okay, so now you have 4 types of troops, and there is an indicator here that shows you exactly what is being countered and what does counter what exactly. You have the archers, and the archers does counter the swordmen. Swordmen will counter the pikemen. Pikemen will counter the horses, and horses again will go back and counter the archers. Okay, that's basically it in short. However, there is another thing which you need to be aware of, which is here. If you go into any barracks, the swordman barracks, the horses barracks, or whatever, you will see something different. If you go at the troop itself and click at this, it will show you a power and stats. Let's go for the last one, for example, the last tier. It will show you that every single troop has its own stats. Why this is useful? Because later on you will get an items or equipments that like that has like stats, has the attack, has some health. So you want to know exactly which kind of stats do you need on your troops or on your heroes that is going to modify the battlefield into your favor. So let's take this one as an example. The swordman here has a very high defense. Let's go to someone else. As you can see, the pikeman here feels like more of a balance. Defense is 170, attack is 170, but if we go back again, the swordman here has very low attack, which means this is a very tanky target. Which means if you find an item that has, say, defense, more defense, it's way much better to put the defense stuff on anything that has swordman on it, because as you can see, it's a percentage buff. So the more defense in here, the better. At the same time, pikeman feels like more balanced, so anything that is balanced like attack and some defense, it would work way much better in the pikeman. This is for the future references, by the way. Here is another thing. Horses. Horses are faster. They are faster, but their defense is weak. At the same time, they have a very high attack, so stacking attack in anything that has horses, cavalry basically, is actually a good idea. Another thing here, the archers are the highest attack in the whole game. They have 290. This is their maximum tier, by the way, but their defense is literally garbage compared to anything else. Their health is average, but if you see the attack, their attack is high. So if you want to favor those guys, basically you have to stack attack here, and this is going to be later when you forge gems and when you create some equipment. This is basically it in short. Now, this is going to be a very simple hero guide. I cannot go into deep stuff here because I need myself to do some tests and discover more, but I'm gonna just give you some common sense here. You people, you guys will ask a very simple question. Who's the fuck is the best hero in here? What are good heroes of them? To answer your question, seriously, this fucking depends. This depends on two major factors. The first factor is how fucking lucky you are. Sometimes your luck is like garbage. Sometimes you are a lucky bastard who got so many fucking golden heroes, okay? At the same time, it depends on the meta. Imagine if every single hero that is accessible by players is an infantry. This means automatically if you have a fucking archer heroes, you won already because of the difference. There is a counter factor in this game, unlike some games. There is actually a counter factor. Counter factor means if you are facing the guy that is he's your counter or you are his counter, you are getting a buff and debuff. First of all, if he's your counter, this means you are going to deal less damage to him and you are going to take more damage to him. So obviously if you are facing your counter, this is already means you are going to lose. At the same time, it's the opposite. If you are an archer and you are facing an infantry, this means even if somehow your set is less shitty, let's not say that you're completely fucking noob or something, you are still going to be an advantage here because of the troop counter thing. So it really depends on which kind of hero do you have. Okay, not all of us are spenders here. Some of us have the luxury of money who can spend on the game. Some of us doesn't spend. So it will all come to how lucky you are and what is the current meta. Because if let's say all of the people are using already, as I mentioned, swordsman, then even if you get some epic archers, you will have an advantage. You can have an advantage. I told you before, the advantages here from upgrading the heroes is not really that massive. It depends on the heroes, and this is why I'm going again, go back to my point. If you guys remember, I just explained to you which items you're not supposed to fucking touch and save until you have actually a nice heroes that to invest with. So let me give you a basic ideas about heroes here. So heroes here can be upgraded. Ignore the equipment, okay? Because this is fixed for everyone. You can just get an equipment for everyone. But let's talk about the basics here and why this game is different. First of all, unlike many other games, you have actually an access to all of the skills if you unlock the hero in here. So basically, summoning the hero itself will allow you to get his main skill and his signature skill and two additional skills that could be modified according to whatever you want, based in your customization and whatever you want. So basically those are the main skills, and you can upgrade them by having skill points. There is literally nothing else. But if you go back here, you will see that there is a star system, which is the fragment system in literally every single game. But what is the difference here is it has 5 tiers, okay? The first tier, the third tier, and the fifth tier impact the skill. But how much it impacts the skill determine if it is worth it for you to upgrade this hero very high, or the hero is literally fucking garbage if you decided to go to rank 5, because it will literally add nothing. And let me take this one as an example, okay? So we have here rank 1. Rank 1 of the skill says increases war cry recovery rate by 35%. You have no fucking idea what is war cry, and let's go back a little bit so I can explain to you this one. So every single hero here will have 2 skills. A skill that basically costs is rage, which is the rage skill. If you played Rise of Kingdoms, Call of Dragon, you will know what is a rage skill, and this is only for the commander, for the commander skill, for the commander hero, sorry, for the commander hero only. The signature skill is what could be used by every single hero on the marsh. The marsh here can hold up to 3 heroes. So let's again talk back and see how to know exactly if the hero is worth upgrading or not. I'm not gonna go into super details because this is going to be a different video, but let me explain to you how things works here. So you can see something here called an activation chance, which means there is a chance for this signature skill to be activated. Sometimes some skills just get activated directly without any chance, or some skills has 100% chance of activation. But now this is going to be very important, and allow me to explain. So here, the signature skill here says after launching a normal attack, deals 1 instance of my damage to the enemy troop. This damage is almost 90%, and it has a recovery of 88%. Cool, looks very clear to me. Okay, now if we go back to check the star system, we will see that the rank 1 increases the war cry recovery rate by 35%, which means this is an additional increase, guaranteed increase to the skill. So if this skill triggered, it is going to recover your troops by an additional 35% on the top of the 88% or 86% chance that you are having, depends on the skill level. Which means this is a guaranteed increase. If the skill did trigger, this means this skill is going to be stronger. Now let's go back again, and again go to the star system and go to the rank 2. Rank 2 increases your troop damage by 2.5%. Complete fucking garbage. It is nothing. It's literally nothing. Not big deal. And as I said, rank 2 and rank 4 is absolutely not a big deal at all. Okay, if you are facing a counter, I think counters are already gonna fuck you over. It doesn't matter if you have this 2.5% or no. Okay, so let's go back to the rank 3. Rank 3, it says the following: increase war cry's damage rate by 65%. Now this is something. If you go back to your signature skill itself does 88% damage, adding a 65% to damage. This is a fucking massive. It's almost as if it's going to deal double damage. So you get my point now? It looks like this additional guaranteed damage to your hero looks powerful. Now let's go to rank 4 and rank 5. Rank 4, pure garbage. because it costs so fucking much. I mean, the fragments after the third, as far as I know, from rank 1 to rank 3, the total cost is 180. I might be wrong, it might be a little bit less than this, but it is around that. But the cost for those two are so fucking a lot. It's so insane, the cost for those two. And let's see the buff. Buff here says increases Warcry activation chance by 5%. Wow, it's so fucking garbage. As you can see here, the activation chance itself is 25%. If the activation chance itself was like a 5% and then you're going to make it a 10%, this is like 100% increase here. But the chance is already garbage. It's 25%. 30% chance is not really going to make that big a difference. Why I'm saying this? Because it's going to consume universal fucking fragments from you. Which is why I'm saying you are not supposed to just fucking use your universal fragments unless the hero is really worth taking it. That's basically it in short. So again, you will ask me, okay Kat, I'm still confused, I don't know how to set my own heroes. You first got to recruit some heroes and then we can see how you can actually set your heroes. There are some basic things that you need to be aware of, okay, before setting any of your heroes. Now you can click at this mark in here and it's going to show you combos, and all of these combos works, they are fine. I understand there are many others, but they are really perfect. They are very good, especially early on, and the mid game they are perfect because we are still in season 1. There is no much information, and I understand there is amazing fucking content creator who created very nice guides, but again, this is not for everyone. There has to be some flexibility, and this is why the in-game guide is so fucking useful, that will explain to you why they did that and that and that. Every single set here has a naming. For example, by just reading the name, you will understand what is this set does. Like it says critical strike and cavalry beginner choice, which means this is a cavalry set, and this focused by creating a mix between the cavalry and the heroes that has a critical strike. And if you own some of those heroes, you can basically try to adjust it by clicking at this button. The game is going to try to give you an ideal set according to the troops or heroes that you own. See, as soon as I clicked at this mark, the game has adjusted based on the heroes that I own. I own that hero and this hero and that hero, and this is why the game has set it. At the same time, you can just pick any other set. Again, this one I can adjust it according to the heroes I own, and the game is going to adjust it to it. So basically there is actually a beginner and friendly guide inside the game that would show you which heroes you are supposed to set. However, you need to be fucking attention to this details, which is the flag of the hero itself, which is the specialty of the hero, and the mark which shows the troop type, because it is super fucking important. Allow me to explain. If you click at anything, just anything, you will see that in every single set, the flag of the specialty is the same. This is this lion, which is the warrior. In every single one, it is the same. Here, there is a flag, same warrior, 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 warrior. If you put 3 at the same time, and they are the same specialty, they will gain a buff. At the same time, you see archer, archer, archer. And this is an archer set, which means if you put 3 archers, they are going to get a buff. One more thing, which is why I told you need to be patient and be wise when you are using your resources, because this buff itself is not going to be activated unless you go into the talent and activate it yourself. Okay, so here is the buff, one of the buffs. For example, after the unit type specialty is activated, the hero bonuses attribute increases from 5% to 10% for every additional hero of the same unit type. In the troops, additional increase, blah blah blah, from 5% to 10%. So you need to have talents activated in order for the buff to be even increased further. This is why you need to be wise when you are using your XP. So I think so far and for now, the guide in the game is actually very good. Now, to earn heroes, there are wheel. Whale is what mainly people are earning from. And the recruit option, of course, from the game, which you are getting I think one per day you are going to get for free from Traven here. Let's see, yes. You are going to get here, this is by finishing daily or quests, you are going to get legendary summon every single day. But I advise you never to do that, and you should always wait for the 5 and use 5 together when you summon. It has a chance to either give you a hero or golden fragments. See, it gave me a hero. It has a chance to give you the hero itself, or it has a chance to give you some fragments for the heroes. You should never use 1. You should always use 5. Okay. Another thing is, which is going to be your empire point. You're going to use your empire coins in wheel. This is basically it. There is a very important topic that I had to keep it in the last because it's about the spending and the VIP levels itself. In general, VIP on many games is useful, but the surprising fact here is that the VIP in Age of Empires is not really that attractive. If I would say something, the only thing that is actually beneficial here when it comes to the VIP is the fact that there is a hero that is locked only for pay players, and it is Miyamoto. That's basically it. There are further heroes, but they are way far, and as far as I know, the heroes that is locked in here not really broken, with the exception of one only hero, which is called King Arthur, but I doubt anybody will be reaching that anytime soon, and that's basically it. So yeah, if you reached VIP 70, that's basically the only benefit you are going to get. Even when it comes to the attacking buffs and the stuff, it is all little. I mean, at VIP 15 it's a 7%, and even the attacking buffs itself starts being useful as soon as you hit VIP 11. It's not even massive, it's like 3%, 4%, 5%. Even the store itself is not really that crazy. So if you decided to push for the VIP, I would recommend you say VIP 6 so you can get this legendary tickets, and even though it's gonna cost empire coins, maybe VIP 5 for the blueprints, but it's not really that attractive or crazy, honestly. I mean, they come already from a small bundles and stuff. VIP, maybe VIP 12 for the universal hero fragments or the legendary skill scroll, but again, that's basically it. It's not really crazy or that much of an important. You are getting daily VIP points, which again going to increase your VIP XP and VIP tier, which allows you to unlock some little buffs. But if you wanted to go for a VIP, then you would only go for the hero. That's basically it. And as far as I have checked and I told you before, for Miyamoto, I think it is not really that powerful when you are going to max this guy. So I would recommend VIP 5 and 6 for the items and Miyamoto, and if you want to push a little bit more, you are completely free to do so, but it's not gonna give you any massive benefits really. Maybe once it comes live it should be different, I have no idea, but according to the game developers, they are going to make it much easier and attractive. I have no idea how much attractive, but again, overall there are only 3 heroes that is locked behind the VIP: Miyamoto, and you have Constantine, as far as I know, starting VIP 20, and he is 12, and he is a support hero. He's literally a support hero. And there's around 10 fragments for King Arthur, which is way pay to win, but and I don't think it is really worth it at all. And keep in mind, this is not a solo game. This is a team game, and even if he's broken, your counter, remember, the counter will take care of it. That's basically when it comes to this. As for the spending, there is a lucky moment bundles that usually shows up, and it will have the best value when it comes to the value of the bundles. Keep in mind that there is something very important, and I consider this one of the best bundles. Whenever you summon a new hero, there should be a bundle that comes out alongside, which has universal fragments which could be saved for future heroes. Second, building queue, which is really a common sense on every single building game. Daily special if you are looking to buy a specific hero and you can't switch for the hero you want. And there's going to be a battle pass bundles. All of these battle pass bundles is usually good. Heroic Expedition, another very nice bundle. Regular supplies, you have these, both of them, they are monthly passes that costs $3 and $5. They are massively good. And for the growth bundle 2 growth bundle 2 is very fucking good deal. Even the free version of it is really nice. It gives you elite recruitment token, but the reason you might want to get the advanced one is because it gives you almost 82,000 silver coins for $10. Once you unlock your forging smith, which is going to allow you to forge equipment, this one allows you to get an extra queue for it, which is really nice too. For $10 it's per minute. That's basically it. Guys. I will be making more guides for Age of Empires, and obviously it will be way more deeper than this one. This was like sort of fast guide trying to cover everything up. But just before I leave, I wanted to give you one final advice. So you will have stores in here, okay? These are stores. All of these stores will reset on every single Monday, which means if you want to take advantage of them, you can start the game on Saturday and Sunday. If you find a server that has opened up on Sunday or Saturday, it will be a great idea for you to start. The reason is you can maybe rush some couple of stuff early on and then take advantage of the fact that the server is still new and the server is going to reset back again on Monday.
In a city full of chaos and a tangled web of streets lives a furry feline king, the coolest cat you'll ever meet. He's got muscles like a lion, a strut that's straight up mean, with a swagger and a purr that makes the ladies scream. He's Catzilla, the beast of the block. When he rolls up, the whole place rocks. He's got that charm, yeah, he's got that flair. Every girl in town's got their eyes on his hair. Catzilla, Catzilla, he's a sexy beast. Feline royalty, the one that they feast. All the chicks are chasing, can't resist his charm. Catzilla's got 'em lined up, all vying for his arm. He's a big-time hunter, never misses a beat. With his dazzling green eyes, he's got the ladies on their feet. He's got a laser pointer, oh, he's the master of play. When he struts through the alley, all the girls lose their way. He's Catzilla, the king of the scene, got a reputation like you've never seen. With the flick of his tail and a glimmering glance, he's got 'em all tangled in a feline romance. Catzilla, Catzilla, he's the cat of the hour, with the whisker twitching purring power. Every chick's a puddle, can't escape his spell. Catzilla's got 'em hooked and they're loving it well. He's got a catnip cologne, makes the world go wild. Got a limo made of cardboard and it's driving 'em all wild. Catzilla, Catzilla, he's the cat of the hour, with the whisker twitching purring power. Every chick's a puddle, can't escape his spell. Catzilla's got 'em hooked and they're loving it well.